Okay, so for this you're gonna have 5 different masks. They don't really do anything noteworthy as long as you do mechanics around them. Basically, Master of the Pain gives you more mechanics per zone, and they're mostly negligible. Burn Bridge, just drop puddles behind you, don't step where you stepped already. Long Night decreases max sanity by 50%, but you regain enough sanity passively through killing elites and using potions that it's pretty negligible. Daredevil makes it so that if you eat the mechanics, you take a lot of sanity loss, you just don't eat the mechanics. And Imagination is probably the only one that's going to actually mess with you in terms of trying to eat or set down sanity orbs or whatever. But it does have some sort of internal cooldown, so just work around that way. Make sure you use your Vantis runes, flask, food. Ghastly Goulash is really good for soloing. Pretty much passively keeps you up to full health the whole time. That combined with the healing potion is 4% of your max health every second, so you're pretty much good to go. I like the Scroll of Fort, because why not? Extra healing. There's your 5 masks. And then the optimal pathing I like to take is start with the left-hand side, so you can find out which potion is the bad potion. So I did get the slow debuff right now, so I'm not going to pull as big as I normally do, because it's just a pain in the ass otherwise. Just pull these packs right here.
Beware. Beware. Protect them.
I got my little sanity protection debuff, which is also a haste buff, so that's good right now. Finish these off, go kill the 2 elites by Thrall. Stand in these, they give you 25% more damage. Okay, some chests here, and you're gonna see some potions. The way that you know which potion is good and which potion is bad is there's this little hut right here. There's a dead dude, purple potion bad. You click that weak aura and it pretty much fills in the rest for you. So you can look around. There's typically some potions here and in general around this zone, and you can more or less see like there's a green potion here, which is going to be 5% damage reduction defensive. First application is going to last 5 minutes. Every consequent application is going to be plus 15 minutes. Going to go ahead and eat my sanity food right here while I look around for potions. It's going to give you 100 more sanity, as you can see right there, for 10 seconds worth of eating, which is perfectly fine. Get the blue potion here, which is going to give you fire breath. It's a little bit of a damage buff. Collect the chests. There sometimes is a little rare mob in the blacksmith area that gives you 10% more damage for an hour, so essentially the whole duration of your run. You do want to make sure you grab at least 2 applications of each potion if you're going to commit to it, because there's typically a bad side effect that comes along with it when it wears off, like vomiting uncontrollably or something to that degree, which is very not good. You don't want that, especially when you do a big pull. So that's 100 sanity. There's another 100 sanity here. So already I cleared the full zone, got a couple chests, got a couple potions, and I'm basically at full sanity without dropping an orb, which is basically what you're going to want to do for the whole run. So I personally don't feel like dealing with this pack of trash right now, so I'm just going to invis it. I've got both of my sanity potions right now, and I have the slow debuff, so not worth the time. There's also no chest here, or anything worthwhile really, so just gonna go ahead and skip it. These tentacles can be pretty annoying because they go back underground and become intargetable for periods of time, so you want to make sure to burst them down. They won't start going underground until you first engage them, so the trick is to just one-shot it, and you don't have to deal with it. Your main source of danger in terms of sanity is going to be these little elite mobs, so save your cooldowns for them, burst them down, and then it's no big deal.
Beware.
There you go. Free 200 sanity. There's another purple potion here. It's gonna give me. Oh, that's poison. That's
I
bad.
had things under control.
Green potion over here. It's gonna give me 5% more defensive.
Who's next?
Pop the Corona. Start this.
I'll conceal any refined one.
I'm gonna save that sanity potion for a bit. Here, there's typically a rare. You can click on the portal, and he gives you 10% more crit, which will make your run a lot faster.
It still works.
So it's always a good idea to get it if it's available. Those Dominator mobs cast an ability that stuns you, so you want to make sure you prioritize interrupting that ability. That's one of the few things you have to interrupt in here. Otherwise, it's going to be really bad for you. Go ahead and grab the chests, do the RP. And there's typically 2 of every type of potion in each zone, so I already grabbed one of the sanity ones in this zone, so in theory there should be another sanity one somewhere in this zone. If you grab all of them, that's going to be a net 200 sanity total per zone from potions alone. Which is very good. We want that. Got my buff right here. Gonna go ahead and pull these. Pull this little mob right here. There's a blue potion, which is going to extend my fire breath by another 15 minutes. It's a little bit of a DPS increase.
Check the tailoring shop in Orgrimmar for survivors. I'll keep watch.
Another blue potion, because we didn't get enough.
Check the leatherworking and careful around those explosives.
Ideally, the most important potions are going to be sanity by far. The 2% max health healing is decent, it's not a game breaker. And fire breath is okay, it's a little bit extra DPS. So every now and then you're going to get the horrific pigments when you're sub 50% sanity. You want to make sure you don't eat until they pop off, because they can interrupt your eating and then you're pretty much shit out of luck there.
This isn't good.
Gonna go ahead and kill this rare right here, get an extra 200 sanity, and then if I'm missing some to max, I'm gonna just drink that black potion over there.
Beware.
You want to avoid the void torrents, they stun you and pretty bad. So I didn't get max sanity from killing him, so I'm gonna go ahead and chuck this. And then sit down and eat, and that should pop me to full.
We should be safe now, champion. Those forces are everywhere.
So thus far, I'm pretty much consistently at full sanity. Haven't really had to use any sanity orbs, which is what you want. And there's also the cheat death. If you mess up a mechanic or whatever, you can recover from it. That's always nice to have. So gotta kill this, get 200 sanity back from it. Pretty much sanity cap after killing it. Got my buff right here. Gonna just stand in the eye because it's not a big deal and I've got a lot of passive healing. Oftentimes there's a chest here by these scarabs, so I'm just gonna clear them. There isn't one this time, but it'll be around this general area. You don't want to stand in that circle, and right now, since I got that circle, if my food was off cooldown, would be a good time to eat, because I'm not going to get interrupted for a good while. Again, when you do eat the food, you want to play around that circle spawning and the horrific pigment spawning, because either of those will pretty much interrupt and ruin your food. It still goes on debuff, and you're shit out of luck. You're going to spawn 2 mobs here going over the bridge. Horrific Pigment's gonna spawn here in a bit. It's that animation. I might get my gift of the Titan's buff here, I'm not quite sure. Yep, there we go. So I'm gonna carry that into the boss fight right here. Here, watch the toxic volley, and then I'm going to start transitioning towards my fire DPS set, because that's how I deal with Rexar. It's a lot easier than dealing with him as Frost. Taking this downtime to go ahead and eat, get my sanity back up. This mob will headbutt you, so make sure your back isn't facing anywhere bad if he does reach you. I'm a Frost Mage, so I'm just going to root him and not deal with it. But he can bug you out. There's a couple places here where if you get rooted, you're stuck there pretty much. That's not good. You don't want to get stuck anywhere. There's no black potions here, so nothing for sanity. Not worth it. Pigment's gonna spawn. So for example, right now, if my potion, my food wasn't on cooldown after the Figment and the Fear, that would be a good time to eat. My cheat death, Rexar dead, back to full sanity, going Frost, and you're pretty much halfway done with the whole zone. Do be mindful of whatever food buffs you grabbed or didn't grab. Right now I've got 40 minutes left on my fire breath, 23 minutes left on my, I believe that's the damage reduction one. Yes. The damage reduction will basically make you throw up uncontrollably, which loss of control, and fire breath does something similar, so you want to make sure you don't have them expire at all, or if you do, don't do it in the middle of an important pull.
Protected.
Got my buff, so I'm going to go ahead and start on the rare, and another thing that the buff allows you to do is ignore all the sanity draining mechanics that you otherwise would have to dodge,
Beware.
because you don't lose any sanity from them, which is quite nice. You get to just tunnel DPS. I'm back to full sanity. When I get lowish, I'm gonna eat my food, restore an extra 100 sanity. Now in this zone there is a caster, I'll show you where in a bit, that will give you a 10% haste buff. So if it's up, it's worth getting in my opinion. There's also sometimes potions around these two areas, a little pack over here in the middle. There's a potion here, it's a purple one, bad potion. So this is the mob that will give you 10% haste, doesn't have a lot of health, so it's worth killing really quickly. The amount of time you spent casting Glacial Spike is certainly less than 10% of the time spent otherwise. I did get polymorphed here, but it's not a huge deal. I'm going to go ahead and circle around. My ice block is off debuff. I am gonna get a horrific figment here in a bit. Yep, there it is. And this is one of the medium zones, so there's not gonna be a fear puddle here, so I can eat in peace after this. There's also sometimes a chest here that you can get for a little bit extra mementos if you're farming for the sockets. Black potion right here. Gonna drink it for some sanity. And pull these two packs together. Mental Assault does a decent amount of damage, so you want to dodge that, or interrupt it rather. Berserker will apply a debuff on you that basically heals it for 4% I believe max health every time he melees you, which is quite often. Figment spawning. Go ahead and do the boss here. And now you've got just one zone left. And I'm gonna go ahead and take that black potion, which you can click on while mounted by the way, so that's nice quality of life right there. you're almost done with the mission at this point. You just have to clear most of this zone. Unfortunately, this is a pretty shitty place to get this debuff, because I still have to clear trash before the boss. Mostly the tentacles that'll knock you up, which is bad as a caster, maybe not so bad as a melee. So, could have had better timing with that, but oh well. Touch of the Abyss, very bad, want to interrupt that. Gonna wait until after Figment spawns to go ahead and eat. Because he's gonna spawn, I'm gonna hit 50% here pretty soon. There he goes. Since I screwed up my Rexar rotation and wasted the rest, I'm just gonna pop an orb here. Also got sheep like a dingus, which you shouldn't really get sheep by that boss. That rare over there is gonna give me 200 sanity, so I'm gonna clear some trash over here in the meantime. One thing to watch out for on this boss, most bosses have avoidable sanity mechanics. To my knowledge, this boss's throw is not avoidable. You're always going to take sanity loss from it, so if you're trending on low sanity, be careful with this boss, because you might get killed and the key is ruined. So that's an extra 50 something sanity. Blue liquid, not really interested. I'll get this. Go back, kill the other rare.
Beware.
This pretty much just has two sets of dodging mechanics, and oftentimes you'll have the leaden foot here, so you want to make sure to minimize movement.
Beware.
And pretty much only move for these two abilities and your fear. So Visceral Fluid and the other one, Fear and
Beware. Protected.
Got my little buff going into the next boss. Always nice to have. A note though, even though you do have the buff that makes it so you don't take sanity loss, you can still get stunned from things like the Defiled Ground, so maybe don't eat those.
Beware. Beware.
Boss is pretty negligible. If you just stick close to him, you can dodge everything that he does. And pretty much all you have to do is kill Thrall and you're good. I didn't show it in the video to kind of keep it short and to the point, but you can do the mailbox first and still have more than enough time to clear the zone. There's a very, very small chance to get a Mail Muncher mount rare off of one of them, which guarantees you a mount, but I've never seen it yet, and I run this on Fortunes every week, so pretty low spawn chance.
Elements have spoken. Azeroth is doomed.
Gonna go ahead and sanity orb here, just for that. Make sure you kill the boars ASAP. Interrupt their quills.
Beware.
won't dodge the filed ground,
Protected.
and then it's pretty much a tank and spank fight. That's
Beware.
25% damage boost. Don't forget to stand in these.
Beware.
Watch the files.
Beware.
And you're done. That's it. Pretty easy. If I didn't mess up a lot of those pulls in Rexstar, wouldn't really have had to use the other orb, but if you're cautious or don't want to pull that much or don't do as much CPS, you can always use the orb sooner. It's always nice to use an orb before a big pull, a boss fight. If you do die, oh nice, finally got that. If you do die, it'll instantly resurrect you. So that's always nice. Not that you should die to anything by one shot, but that's it. That's all you need to do to clear the visions by yourself on Orgrimmar.